Chat. What is good? How's everyone doing on this beat? Oh, my bad. I forgot to put my volume down. How's everyone doing on this beautiful ass Tuesday? Bagel with the 9.99 super chat. You should call this show the Scrap Yap. I probably should, huh? Scrap Yap. We have the Scrap Chat. We have the Scrap Yard. We have the Scrap House. So that fits. I figured I'd hop on for a few hours because I don't know what the hell is going on in MMA right now. But we went from weird headlines in the lead up to UFC Freedom 250 to then the highest of highs after the event. McGregor returning, right, on the Ariel Helwani show. Then I swear, the week after, we get news that Dustin Poirier, of all people, was arrested in Atlanta. Alex Pereira is apparently contemplating retirement. Justin Gaethje is asking for equity, which is crazy because that's something that the UFC has denied Conor McGregor at the height of his career. But there's a shit ton. There's so much more. So much to react to, break down, and catch up on. I got a list. I say we go through everything together, shoot the shit for a little bit, right? I know it's annoying, but before we get into it, I'm going to need y'all to hit that like button. It helps me find more people who want to talk about MMA. So, yeah. Oh, and I want to do this on Tuesdays around this time every week, whether it's pro wrestling or MMA related. So if you guys like it, you guys are going to have to let me know. Now, if you guys just happen to stumble upon this stream, I'm Joey. This is The Scrap. If you guys like no bullshit takes, deep dives, or even watch alongs, hit that subscribe button because I have so much content planned in the lead up to UFC 329. We got prizes I'll be giving away. And your boy knows a little thing or two about the fight game. But I figured we start off here with the Dustin Poirier stuff because this was not on my bingo card in 2026. And I think the sad part is we're not paying enough attention to him. I feel like he's told us several times he's been struggling. But nonetheless, TMZ dropped the news that Dustin Poirier was arrested on a public drunk charge, which I didn't even know was a thing. Like, you can't even be drunk in public. That's kind of shitty. But apparently, let's scroll down. It wasn't exactly the Father's Day Dustin Poirier had in mind. The retired UFC legend was arrested early Sunday evening in Atlanta, Georgia. He was booked for public drunk, a misdemeanor, at 6:38 p.m. before being released several hours later, a quarter after 10 p.m. It's unclear what led to Dustin's arrest. He had the Happy Father's Day. And then they just kind of go into his career. So this shit was crazy. Like I said, it was not on my bingo card. And on Father's Day is wild. And his mugshot, they did him so dirty. Dustin Poirier, he's a pretty decent looking guy. But those ears, oh my God, look at these ears. Nah, as LA Knight would say. What up, Absorber? What up, Brady? How you guys doing? Damien, Nick. Yeah, so this shit was crazy. And I think the even crazier part was out of all the people in the world to chime in on this, why you gotta be Colby Covington? I don't know if y'all watch this. We gotta watch this together because yeah, he's kind of fucked up.
America's champ here, and I just want to take a moment and have a toast to Father of the Year, Dustin Poirier. Nothing says role model and family man like being arrested for public intoxication at 37 years old at 6:38 p.m. on Father's Day.
Yo, he studied that.
Cheers to you, Dustin. Next time, try an ice-cold Real American Beer Zero. Same amazing taste as Rab Light with zero alcohol. It's great for people who want to be social and not get blackout drunk and act like Louisiana swamp trash. Hit me up when you get out of the slammer, and I'll get a pallet over to you, buddy. Cheers. America's champ here, and I just want to...
What a fucker. And I don't mean to laugh, but Colby Covington has some of the best nicknames in MMA for people. I mean, Cumshot is one of the best nicknames that I think I've heard in a while. It's so cringe and so stupid, but it makes me chuckle. Yeah, this shit was crazy because I'm pretty sure somewhere along the way I saw a tweet and we'll try and find it, but somebody was like, "You of all people talking," because he may have had a little something when he was in college. But I was saying this earlier, right? Like we just were not paying attention enough because I feel like he has been very vocal about the shit he's been going through since retirement. And you got to think, right? Like that shit's so sad. And it's not like he's very away from the sport, right? It's not like he was super injured and he can't come back. And it's not like he just retired and left. He's still doing like the Paramount Plus stuff. He got a job. He's still talking about MMA. He's around MMA all the time. But it seems like that's not good enough, you know? And it's probably something that a lot of these fighters are going to struggle with at some point in their careers. But yeah, let's watch this one.
But let me ask you this, bro, because like we always ask you fight questions, bro. Just like, how are you doing in life right now? How is life? How is Dustin Poirier, not the fighter, but like just Dustin Poirier in general, bro?
Thanks for asking that, man. I'm trying to navigate it, bro. I'm good. Some days I'm great. Some days I'm not so good. It's up and down, honestly. Fighting has changed me forever, and in good and bad ways. It's just trying to get into a groove of being a father, being home more, working on things outside of fighting, things that I put on the back burner that I couldn't for so many years. Just staying busy, man. It's really, I got to keep my mind busy. I'm a danger. I've said this before. People have heard me say this, but I'm danger if I don't have anything circled on my calendar. If I'm not working towards something, trying to better myself and my family, I'm a danger to myself.
But let me ask.
That's the quote right there, man. Like, if I'm not working towards something or trying to better myself, I'm a danger to myself. That's some sad shit. Like, that's the real shit I think I've ever heard. So clearly he's been struggling for a while. For a while. This was for the Pereira gain UFC freedom. It looks like they're the background. And oddly enough, this is just where my brain goes. Whoever the hell else was interviewing was talking about Braun Breaker. Yo, that did age like fine wine. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. And he's being super real about it. It just sucks, right? Because I don't know if you guys feel this way, but he has gotten so much heat and fighters have done much less than he has. I mean, we don't hear about Dustin in the news like this very often. And there's a couple people being like, "Oh, like it's just Father's Day, like let bro enjoy himself." Yeah, agreed. Agreed, but I guess in ATL you can get arrested for public drunkenness. And we don't know what the hell was. I don't think there's any videos. I don't know what that would entail. Was he like running around naked? Was he freaking I don't know. I don't know. So, I'm sure more details will probably come out. Yo, this was his much those ears, bruh. Those ears. At least his hairline is, doing well. What's good, Taj? How's it going, brother? Dustin's a good guy overall. Does a lot for his city. That too. That too. Good dude. Good father. Just overall, decent ass man. Like, he's done it all. He's done it all and he's done it classy. So yeah, dude. Like, I just feel like fighters have done way more and get less heat than Dustin has lately. This mugshot, unreal. I would say minus 10 aura points on this mugshot. I think Conor McGregor's mugshot is top tier. Liv Morgan, top tier. Dustin Poirier, I'd give him solid C plus. My man was hurt. My man was hurt, man. Whoever abuses roids go to jail, etc. John Jones, Dustin. You are up to. Well, I don't know if he's doing steroids, Absorber, but he has said. I think he's doing peptides. Actually, I think he has said he's doing steroids. Now that he doesn't have to get tested. I can probably search it in a little bit. Islam was right. We need to cancel Dustin Black Belt after this. I'm dead. B plus or points for the chains and the hairline. You're right. You're right. The chains and the hairline. Minus points for the ears and the was probably crying. Yo, I'm sorry. The only thing that I pictured when doom scrolling through Twitter and I saw this shit. Actually, I was on live when Brady tweeted it on the Scraps account. I was like, "What the hell?" But afterwards, I was doom scrolling, and all I could think of Jolie's wife. Jolie's fucking pissed. Jolie, yo, this shit is crazy. AI. Absorber, are you behind this account, bro? Taking steroids and PEDs, public drunkenness. Since he retired, Dustin is turning into Conor McGregor. Oh, talking about the mugshots, bro. All right, looking at the screen right now. Who got the best mugshot? We got Connor, Mike Perry. Who the fuck is this guy? Jeremy Stevens. Is this fucking Kimbo Slice? I feel like this is Kimbo Slice. This is Steven Bonner. Mike Perry again. Yo, young Mike Perry been to jail a few times. Johnson, Michael Johnson, Rampage. Not the TMZ logo. John Jones has a whole row to himself. Yo. I'm sorry. That's so fucked. I don't know about who has the best mugshot. John Jones has the world record of mugshots. Oh, bro, look at full row. Full freaking row. I'm blanking. Dean Thomas has a freaking mugshot, bro. And who the hell is this? Oh, God. Look who they freaking put in here. Ali. Yo, no way. Volkan? Or what the frick's his name? Odomir? What the? I'm forgetting his name. BJ Penn, bro. Brock Lesnar was young. Doesn't Brock Lesnar look like his daughter? Anybody who knows what his daughter looks like? Rampage looks like a criminal. Dude, and the only one crying other than Dustin Poirier is the woman. You got freaking Nate Diaz. Yo, Brock Lesnar was young as hell. What the hell? So it looks like Dustin's been talking about this shit for a while. This was Dustin on Theo Von 2 years ago. Let's see.
Have to. Yeah.
You just doesn't know if you get complacent or if you, what?
I'm like, it's honestly, bro, I'm a danger to myself when I'm have nothing. No goal circled on my calendar. I'm a danger to myself, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. I beat myself up mentally. I'm home. I drink. It's just not good. I have to have some kind of battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always been like that. But like as I'm getting older, I'm kind of recognizing.
Oh, you can see it more.
Yeah. So I kind of set goals so I stay busy, you know. Have to. Yeah.
You just doesn't know.
Set goals and stay busy. I guess that's retirement. Do you guys think that the UFC could be doing more for retired fighters? I mean, again, right? Like Dustin isn't away from the sport. He's still very involved. And he was already away from his gym. If y'all remember, he flies out to Florida for fight camp, but he doesn't live in Florida full time. And I saw him just there, like, I feel like last week. So it's just, I don't know. It's sad. It's sad as hell. Yeah, we talked about this. He said, love you all. I'm working on myself. This is the craziest video ever. Overall, sad shit. I saw this too when I was scrolling. Over 6 months ago, a fan commented on Dustin Poirier's photo. What's the next step? Dustin responded, sobriety. That was 6 months ago. So we already have 2 years ago, 6 months ago, and during the UFC Freedom Media sprint. I mean, dude was telling us the entire time. The entire time. We had posted this video on the scrap. Apparently, Ben Askren was chilling with Dustin Poirier at the airport before he got arrested.
Grab it, please. Please. Start in the clinch like the. Nothing, bro. Nothing. Grab it, please. Please. Start in the clinch like the. Nothing, bro. Nothing. Grab it, please. Please. Start in the clinch like the.
He was just having fun. It was Father's Day. Allegedly. Yeah, so that shit was crazy, man. That shit was crazy. And actually, I feel like I saw this too. See if I can find the tweet. When he choked out Lil Pump is crazy. I saw this shit right here. Because there's a lot of people responding to Colby Covington about his comments on this shit. But as you guys can see, this tweet, it says, coming from someone with a DUI, LOL. Covington began his career at Iowa Central Community College and won the 2007 165-pound National Junior College Wrestling title as a true freshman with a 34-0 record. After 1 year there, Covington transferred to Iowa, but before school started, he was arrested for eluding police and driving while intoxicated as he blew 3 times over the legal limit. It's like these mofos, dude. Like it's always the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, this was from look at this tweet from 2018. I didn't know that when Colby got kicked out of college in Iowa, it was because of DUI. He fled from police to get back to his apartment. Also got arrested in Corvallis. So that shit's crazy. Crazy. But since Absorber mentioned it in the comments, we could talk about Alex Pineda's retirement because that's another shit that was not on my bingo card for 2026. There's a couple of these posts. I'm going to try and find like the actual video. Or actually, I don't even think there's a video. But he's hinting at retirement, apparently. He said, honestly, I'm afraid to fight again with all of this happening. I think I've already done my part. Obviously, it's because of the Herb Dean situation. And yeah, he's had a hell of a career. Don't get me wrong. Dude has had a hell of a career in Glory Kickboxing. They're still trying to break his records. In the UFC, he was fast-tracked as hell. All because his beef with Israel Adesanya. We could sit here and argue that had Israel Adesanya not been champ at the time, Pereira probably wouldn't have gotten a look or as fast-tracked because they wanted to tell that story in the UFC cage at a time where Izzy was, he was putting in work. He was clearing the division little by little. So I ended up putting a poll up. I'm trying to see here what you guys think. Looks like we got 15 votes in so far. Do you think Alex Pereira retires? We have no at 60%. I hope not at 20%. I wouldn't blame him at 13%. And yes at 7%. I truly don't think he retires. There's just no way that a man who has had the career that he has, that fast track, and he's lived up to the hype. He's lived up to the hype. There's just no way that that's how his story goes. So I'm banking on him sticking around. But I don't know if y'all seen this. I actually have not seen this yet. Apparently Dana White talks about this shit. I want to see what his back of his head look like normally. Because this is not what his head normally looks like.
You don't feel like there's something with Cyril, or is it just like, look, this is a chaotic sport and it happens?
Well, I also think that if you watch the fight, it's undeniable that he got hit with some strikes to the back of the head. But in the middle of the action, you know, when it's going on and guys are rolling around trying to get out of it, sometimes some fouls happen, and maybe Dean should have said, hey, watch the back of the head, or, you know, warned him or something like that. But, you know, I don't know.
Two more quick ones from me. Have you reached out?
I can tell you this. Alex Pereira is not a whiner. And Alex Pereira doesn't complain about things or make excuses, you know, after fights. So I have to believe that he believed that he truly believed that was true.
You don't feel like that?
Who do you guys think he was dissing there? Who complains after fights? Nah, but yeah. Dana coming to Alex Pereira's defense. Also not on my bingo card in 2026. Taj says Alex versus Black Beast for the culture before retirement is something we need. Yo, that would be funny. That would be funny. Absorber Israel Adesanya's in your top 5. Yo, he had a great run. He had a freaking epic run, actually. Cyril has been the dirty and shittiest fighter. You're not wrong about that. I mean, John Jones has said it, that he thinks that Cyril Gane is a cheater. Obviously, Tom Aspinall has said it. And Tom actually went, I think it was Tom or his dad, they went and counted every single time he was hit in the back of the head in that fight. Or eye poked. I think it was eye poked. So you're not wrong there. If he takes Alex's side on the fouls, does that mean he'd be more lenient on Tom? No, see, I think he was dissing Tom, bro. I think he was throwing a shot at Tom's way based off of what he said. You know, if Alex isn't one, he's not a whiner. He's not a complainer. So he must think that Tom Aspinall is a whiner and a complainer. Big problem to whom to choose Alex or his son God. Yo, what up? Chi-Town Media, what's good, brother? Tom I tells you the story. Tom's eye was bad. I am shocked that people still were like, oh, he wanted out. He wanted out. Shit, I'd want out too. You mean to tell me that I get paid significantly less if I lose this title and continue to fight with one eye? Nah. And we see the fans are so damn fickle. So to me, I'm saying, fuck it. I am saying, fuck it. I forgot to, I gotta change the titles on the videos too so people can show up. What happens if Tom and Gane fight and he pokes his eye again? Bro. At that point, what do you do? The fan group who support John and Cyril Gane are shit eaters. Why do you say that, Absorber? Out of nowhere, Alex fans has started backing Tom if you check his comment section. Oh, dude, I bet. That's just how it goes. The Butcher in the new A2 movie. So Alex Pereira is going to be in this movie. Yo, Alex losing we have to talk about, is the curse real? Is the cover curse real? Yes or nah? We watched that on the last stream. Yeah, Alex Pereira's sons are freaking almost as tall as him. Damn, they both lost. Yo, and if you guys believe that the cover curse is real, Nina Drama is the curse. If y'all believe the cover curse is real, then we gotta talk about who else is on the damn cover. Is this not gonna freaking pop up? Guess not. But Max Holloway, bruh. And Max Holloway versus Connor's next. These motherfuckers, nobody posted it.
You don't have to be strong, and the night will go on. The sun will rise.
Yo, that's mad funny. That is mad funny. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the meta rankings for sure. That's actually on my list. Y'all, if y'all seen this list and y'all rushing me, no, I'm just kidding. It's actually the second thing on this list. I skipped because Absorber was like, yo, talk about Alex Pereira. But you're right. We can talk about the meta. Oh, wait, actually, while we're still on the topic of Alex Pereira real quick. Oh, Josh Hokett. What's a good, comfortable, waterproof shoe? Need something for Madison Square Garden in November when I put my foot up Alex Pereira's. He won a Shama on the mama. I just tried to order an Aspinall shirt. Unfortunately, it only came in size coward. Speaking of the Nina drama curse, Absorber. Look at this text message. How to fight a blind guy's crazy. Aspinall doesn't even say he's the champ anymore. He just looks at Josh Hokett like this. Josh Hokett has nothing but time on his freaking hands. They're trying to put. I thought this was interesting. They are trying to push Josh Hokett versus Gable Steveson, which just makes no fucking sense to me. And this is how I've complained about this on the Scrap House episode. UFC doesn't build stars because they do shit like that. They try to put their stars to clash against each other early on in their careers when they could just build towards it. The division is so not deep. But they're trying to push this Gable Steveson matchup. And apparently Josh is like, bro, you don't even train in Albuquerque. But also, he doesn't want to fight his friend. I think they're friends. And I see here Absorber said Josh Hokett versus Alex future matchup. That has to happen. The feud's there. I feel like based off of what Dana White said and based off of the rankings, which we'll see in a bit, I feel like they have more control now. So they might make that matchup again. I don't know. He said here, Oh, he's pushing for it here. He wants to fight him in Madison Square Garden in November. Cyril Gane wears a thong when he mows his lawn. If Aspinall doesn't come back, then let's fight September in Paris. I'll beat you in a fight and in a game of one-on-one basketball because I'm the greatest all-around athlete to ever step in the octagon. He tried to bring out DC from retirement. Yeah, this dude is crazy. This dude is crazy. All right, let's talk about these damn rankings. Because this shit, this shit got people talking. And actually, let me put this poll down. Let me get another poll going up. And I want to see if people believe what Absorber put in the comments. He said, bro, rankings doesn't matter at all. So we're going to say yes or no. He doesn't have the skills to be the Conor of heavyweight. You're talking about Hokit. Hokit's smaller than most heavyweights. I feel like he's going to go to light heavyweight at some point. That is probably why he wants to fight Shama. So, looks like Combat Casuals tweeted that the UFC rolled out its new AI rankings, and here are some of the notable differences. Alex Pereira ranked as number 4 heavyweight in the world. That's different. Paddy Pimblett's ranked below Moicano, Sal Killed, and Gamrot. What? Yair Rodriguez has been removed from the rankings, while Nathaniel Wood and Pat Sabatani are ranked top 10. Peyton Talbot and Raul Rosas Jr. have also been removed from the rankings in favor of adding Bryce Mitchell and Montel Jackson. I'm going to hear the explanation before I comment because I heard there's criteria, but some of those decisions are just dumb. He's done Jubilee dirty. What do you mean by that?
You guys got me f***ed up here now. Wait a minute.
Marker?
I can't handle incompetence. I can't take it anymore. And I can't let people that I don't believe know what the f*** they're talking about deal with the rankings anymore. I just can't do it. I have to figure out a solution.
So can you explain what was going on in your head in that press conference and how the rankings were flawed?
Well, I think the old ranking system, though, is a combination of laziness, bias, no knowledge of the actual sport. We can definitely make it better.
Wild.
And who were the people that were going to fix it?
That would be the engineering team here at Meta. Our task, build a new ranking system that's determined by data from fights, not opinions. One that's objective and fair. Social media followers, how famous you are, none of that factors in. I'll let Offie tell you how it works.
The algorithm doesn't just factor in wins, it's how you win. Dominant finishes are rewarded more than split decision. Content quality matters too. And fighters who don't compete drop in rankings over time. It combines statistical modeling and machine learning to process real fight data with ranking.
So they said opinions don't matter. They say star power doesn't matter. They said that finishes get you ranked up higher than decisions. So that's... Hold on. Let me rewind.
That's objective and fair. Social media followers, how famous you are, none of that factors in. I'll let Offie tell you how it works.
The algorithm doesn't just factor in wins, it's how you win. Dominant finishes are rewarded more than split decision. Content quality matters too.
Opponent quality matters. Finishes get ranked better than decisions. So they're still going by popularity because if you get a finish, it's probably being more talked about than a decision.
And fighters who don't compete drop in rankings over time. It combines...
And inactivity puts you down. So that one, That makes sense. The finishes versus decisions is kind of crazy because what it rewards, obviously the finishes, the entertainment, the wow factor. Dana White wants that shit because he wants people to be entertained, right? But is that the way to go? I don't know, man. Obviously, an Indian engineer is crazy. They have Spivak ranked twice in the top 15. Yo, I'll go to the website in just a bit because what the fuck?
Statistical modeling, and machine learning to process real fight data, with rankings updating after every UFC event.
Ranking is inherently complex. No single approach captures everything, but this one is objective, consistent, and built entirely on what happens inside the octagon. How's that sound, Dana?
Sounds great. I mean, really all I care about is that the rankings are fair, they're as close to perfect as possible, and I'm ready to go live.
Well, it is live.
Oh, well, beautiful. Thank you.
So he cares for fair. What did he say? He wants fair, as close to perfect as possible, and that's it.
Sound, Dana?
Sounds great. I mean, really all I care about is that the rankings are fair, they're as close to perfect as possible, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's his only criteria: fair and as close to perfect as possible. That's I don't think that's the way to go, but I like it in the sense that they're taking you out if you're inactive. They're going to allow the rankings to continue to move forward without the people that can't contribute to the sport. And yeah. Okay. So championship rounds tweeted that the UFC rankings are here. Here's a full thread. So the meta rankings and the media rankings. Okay. So we got Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov, Sergey Pavlovich. Alex Pereira is in 4th. Josh Hokett was originally in 4th. Josh 5. Okay, so they moved Alex in and pushed everyone kind of down. We had 6 in Sergey Spivak. Rizvan Kuniev was originally 8. Looks like they probably took Curtis down for inactivity. Tyrell Fortune was on the list. He's completely gone. Delja's completely gone. Derek Lewis isn't even on the meta rankings. Marcin Tuboria is gone. Walter Walker is where they picked up from. They put Petrino in there. Mick Parkin, Ryan Spann. Some interesting data on UFC rankings versus meta rankings. If the latter holds up or percentage rises, especially if and when they expand rankings to a top 25, then they would have to consider a net positive. Time will tell. What? That's weird. So this is basically what they said, right? Wins and strength of competition make up 95% of the fighter's rating. Finishes give a small boost. Fighters who stay active get a rating boost. A rating penalty kicks in after 18 months of inactivity. There are no pound for pound rankings, which is one of the biggest things. No pound for pound rankings. Human voting is no longer used in the rankings. There are no manual changes or adjustments to the rankings. Media rankings will stay in place during the transition period. You can switch between media rankings and meta rankings. What the craziest part to me about all of this shit, to be completely honest, is Dana White so upset about something that he could have influenced long ago. We actually covered this shit. I'm going to share this tab real quick. We covered this shit on the Scrap in 2019. One of the writers for Uncrowned, Drake Riggs, used to work for us at the Scrap. And he wrote about this entire process. We ended up getting the panelists' names and their outlets, all 28 of them. There was 28 people who used to vote in the rankings. And the article, he really just takes a deep dive on how the official ranking systems work. So if you guys are curious about it, definitely hit up the scrap.co because we have a shit ton of articles. And we are more than a YouTube channel, if you guys didn't know. But the UFC introduced its official rankings in 2013 with a panel of media members voting on divisional and pound for pound rankings. The original panel consisted of 28 journalists, which you guys see on the screen now. But the UFC had reportedly anticipated a much larger voting pool when they kind of created this. And by the time of that we wrote this article, the panel had shrunk to 14. So they went from 28 to 14, even though they wanted more than 28 at first. And it looks like some of the original members left. It was also super, super hard to get into. Like if you were a journalist and you wanted to get involved, it was hard to be accepted. And some of the panelists that were interviewed for this, because we went deep where they interviewed people who were actually on it, said they're not paid for ranking fighters and they don't receive direct influence from the UFC executives. However, they do receive administrative emails and ranking briefs that outline fighter eligibility, weight class changes, suspensions, and movements. And that was always my issue with Dana White being so upset, because it's like most often than not, the panel went with the UFC's recommendations. Now, I will say this, the positive about this is, was there a conflict of interest? You guys have to also think about like how much the media versus the UFC was a big thing, especially around COVID, and Ali influencing his fighters from, going on certain podcasts, not going on certain podcasts. Like he completely, for a while, didn't want none of his fighters on Ariel Helwani's show. I think Kayla Harrison is really the only one who breaks that rule because she has a personal relationship with Ariel. But nonetheless, it's kind of a bit of a conflict of interest. I mean, in the article, we talk about, one of the people working for odds makers, and rankings also influence matchmaking, and matchmaking influence betting and all of that stuff, right? So there were just a lot of complaints, like fighters moving up despite not fighting, inconsistent treatment of inactivity, questionable pound for pound placements, lack of transparency regarding the voting criteria. So in a lot of ways, what Meta's doing, it directly like caters to that. So I'm not going to trash them just yet. I do got to look at the rankings. But to me, I guess if Dana's whole thing is more fair, yeah, it takes away the opinion. It takes away the conflict of interest. It takes away the media's opinion. And to be honest, there was no easy solution. There was no easy solution because rankings help create the hierarchy, right? And it adds legitimacy to the sport. But like, as you guys seen, Absorber in the comments, right? He's like, bro, rankings don't even matter. So some people don't even care about them because the UFC hasn't cared about them all that much too. So yeah, I think it's still going to be a debated topic. It's still going to be something that isn't perfect, but can they get it near perfect? Maybe. I think they got to go through a few rounds. But some of the things that I'm seeing are insane. I saw that, the Patty one we already discussed. We put Alex being placed in heavyweight is crazy. It looks like 95% weighing on who you beat in awards, multiple bonus and finishes, put people up like Pat Sabatani, Ian Machado, Gary, below Prates, pound for pound deletion, Avi. Let me go to this damn website though. Rankings. I gotta see this shit for myself. New UFC top card set breakdown. Yeet. When it was first brought out, all champions were wrong. Yeah, that's stupid. Let's see. So obviously Josh Van. So this is the media. Okay, this is the meta. Okay, this is pound for pound. I'm like, what the hell? Pantoja, Cop, Tatsudo, Brandon Royval, Horiguchi, Loner Kavanaugh, Amir Albazi, Brandon Moreno, Steven Urseg. So they just took out Kevin. Yeah, they took out Kevin. They really got Quinlan Sakil over Patty. These ones look a little questionable, but Patty only fights how many times? Let me see. So Patty fought once in 2025. He fought once in 2024. He fought once in 2023. He fought 3 times in 2022. And in 2026, he's about to fight for the second time. So that inactivity kicked his ass, clearly. Quinlan fought twice in 2026. He fought 3 times in 2025. And honestly, I wonder how back this goes. Like, I wonder if this is a compilation of all of the data or if they kept it at a certain year and said, all right, we're just going to do data from 2020 all the way to like 2026 or whatever. Because I think that matters. That matters big time because it's not going to reward somebody who was getting KOs in 2020 versus somebody getting KOs now. Patty doesn't get a lot of finishes. Quinlan has round 1 head kick, so he was rewarded heavily in the meta rankings. I mean, Patty lost in 2025 or 2026, sorry. In 2025, he beat Michael Chandler KO, submission in 2024. So yeah, it depends on how far they went back, but that makes a lot of sense to me based off of their criteria. So I don't know why y'all complaining about the meta rankings. Pepin P there with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. If you interview Dana, how much money would you need to be paid in order to call him Big Daddy Dana to his face? Well, I feel like if I did that, he would probably ban me and never let me interview again. So I would need at least $1 million because that just fucks me forever unless Dana retires. But he said, I think the top 5 for the most of them are fine, but then against wonky 615. Honestly, Brady, I'm gonna let you while I'm here live. Who should we look into? Because that's Quinlan Sakil, based off of what Med is saying, they're prioritizing. Him being over Patty makes sense. Patty being lower makes sense. He's fought once every single year except this year. He's going to be on his second fight, and he lost his first fight. So if I had to ask Dana and Meta one question about the rankings, it would be how far back did you go? Does anybody know that? Well, let me search that. Also, let me just take a look at these real quick. I did see the Carlos protest. This doesn't make sense to me because, and this is where I think the rankings go wrong. The rankings care more about who you've beat, whether or not you finished, but they're not factoring in that I've already beat you already. So that I think is where the soul, right? As Ariel Hawani says it, the soul is sucked out of it. because you're not factoring in that regardless of all that, and it's a heavy ranking, it's 95% of what makes his ranking is whether or not you finish and your activity. If it's not factoring in, I already beat you, there's your issue. And I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening in this particular media rankings. My man Bagel with the 499 super chat. Is there any non-fighter in MMA world that you would want to interview other than Dana? Is there any non-fighter in the MMA world that I would want to interview other than Dana? I would love to interview Joe Rogan for sure. I would also, you know who would be a killer interview? Megan O'Leary, just her experiences. Laura Sanko, she was a fighter, so I guess that doesn't count. I'd love to interview freaking Hunter Campbell because apparently, and I wanted to talk about this on the stream, he's been kind of running ship since 2018, and I think that's way sooner than I originally anticipated. Yeah, I think those are some good options. Bruce Buffer would be a great interview too, I feel. And he tends to do them. Scott Coker would be a great interview. Yeah, I'm with it. I'd love to talk business with PFL, the new PFL CEO, because they've made some questionable decisions in the past. Yeah, that's a great question. Costa is too low. I think for Feather, Morales should be one on their criteria too. So let's see. Okay, Costa, you're talking about middleweight. Paulo Costa at 13 was originally in the rankings, and now what? Where the hell's middleweight? He's 7 on the meta rankings. Well, Paulo, if Paulo Costa is who you're talking about, Brady, he benefited from the meta rankings. He went up. All right, let's look at Michael Morales at welter. So Michael Morales in the media rankings is number 3 today, but the meta rankings have him at 3. He's still 3. But you're saying he should be higher based off of that criteria. Got it. Oh, shit. And I think I was reading this wrong. Okay. Meta has him at 3. Media also had him at 3. But Meta has Carlos Prates over Ian. Okay. Yeah. And media has Ian over Carlos. Yeah, I don't like that. And I'm assuming what you mean, because he's ranked 3 regardless. So the media and meta got him the same thing. But you're saying based off of criteria, he should probably be higher. But considering that they have Carlos Prates up, because let's look at this shit together. Carlos Prates. Let me share this tab. My man Carlos Prates. Again, we don't know how far back they go, so I can probably double check to see if they've said that anywhere. But Carlos Prates fucking fought he fought 4 times in 2024. He fought 3 times in 2025 and he lost to Ian. And then he's fought once in the UFC, in 2026 against Jack Della, and he finished him. Right? I'm going to need to freaking pencil this shit down. So I'm just going to factor in 2025. He fought 3 times, 1 loss, 2 finishes. And then he fought once with a finish. So this is Carlos. And then we're looking at, we want to look at Morales. Mother. Here we go. Mr. 19-0. In 2025, dude fought once, 2 times. He hasn't fought in 2026 yet. 2 first-round finishes. And then let's just look at Gary real quick. In 2025, Ian fought twice, won, but both are decisions. See, and this is what is wrong with this is what's wrong with the meta rankings. Is they're not factoring in that you've beat somebody because they care more about activity and they care more about whether or not you finish. And if we go back to the rankings, Meta has Carlos 1, Ian 2, Morales 3, which is kind of crazy. Because based off of their criteria, yeah, they're rewarding Carlos for having 4 fights in the last 2 years. Even though he had 1 loss, he had 3 finishes. Three finishes, 1 loss, 4 fights. Morales, 2 fights, 2 finishes. Ian, 1 fight, 1 decision. They're rewarding Carlos more for activity than they are anything else. That shit's crazy. That will be the downfall to the ranking systems for sure. 2 first-round KOs should rank higher than Carlos losing to the number 2. You're right, but he still had 2 more fights. So it is a very flawed system. Based off of what Meta is looking into, this seems right. Yeah. And you know what? Let's go freaking search. Because I actually let's go to Google. I don't know how many, like, I love Google AI. Let's see. How far back of UFC data did Meta? Nah, did Meta go? Yeah, dude, now if you're active as hell, they're going to put you higher up on the list. You're going to get more opportunities. So guys like which it did not benefit Charles Johnson. I don't think I don't think it benefited him once, but he's very active. So let's say Morales keeps winning, but only fights once a year. He's never going to get a title fight. It's not that he won't get a title fight; is he won't continue to move up the rankings. Yeah, it's not perfect, and it's not near perfect either. So Dana saying that is crazy. Okay, so it says the new Meta UFC rankings model goes back a maximum of 10 years for data, as any wins older than 10 years become completely obsolete within the algorithm. The mathematical ELO style system, which officially launched on June 22nd, 2025, handles historical data and time-based decay through several specific rules. 10-year cutoff. A fighter's wins are entirely removed from the data pool and become obsolete after 10 years. 5-year value decay. Wins do not hold permanent weight. Their statistical value begins to decay after 5 years. If a fighter does not compete for 18 months, an inactivity penalty triggers, causing their live rating to erode. The formula relies heavily on recent performance and strength of schedule, with the fighter's record and the quality of their opponents driving roughly 95% of their overall rating. They say nothing about, if I beat you, I take your spot. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. That is the flaw. We got 10 votes so far in the Do Rankings Matter. And it's 50-50. So some people say it don't matter. Some people say it do. Shit. Well, I will say, I feel like we discovered something that nobody else is talking about. Tell me not. And I feel like that shit happens often on this channel. So basically, you just fight twice a year and then you're good. You have to win. You have to win and you have to finish. Because if you finish, yeah, you'll climb up the ladder. So someone like a Movsar Evelev would suffer tremendously from this. A Khamzat Chimaev will not benefit from this because he usually fights once a year as well. If he doesn't fight again this year and his one loss is to Sean Strickland, he should technically drop very significant, if not completely off. So what do you know? What do you know? But all right, guys, let me take a little quick commercial break for you. I just want to remind you that if you have not hit that like button, you, my friends, are missing out because we do this shit every day. Nah, I'm just kidding. We don't do this every day. But we do go live often. And we do like to do deep dives and really research and dig into these things more than I think other outlets do. We also got a Discord going over 100 members already. We are really trying to build that so we can do more watch-alongs and exclusive stuff with the people in there. So let me see if I can drop the link in the chat real quick. Here it is. Also, if you guys haven't already, we dropped episode 2 of the Scrap House where we dive into Conor Max, the UFC not building stars, Dana White trying to do it all. I think it ties really nicely into the things that we're talking about here today. But it's still very much a relevant episode. We are filming episode 3 soon, and we will be dropping a banger of a piece on the UFC holding Conor's career hostage. That's a deep dive you are not going to want to miss because I found some crazy shit. I went deep. I did a lot of research, and I do show all the receipts. So stay tuned for that. But what should we talk about next, yo? Let me get my list back up. I know what I think I want to talk about next. Let's go to... Let's talk about this Ian Gaethje stuff, yo. Because Ian Gaethje, I believe he went on Ariel Helwani yesterday. He was saying a lot of shit, guys. He was saying a lot of shit. And actually, before I press play, let me run to the damn bathroom real quick. We've already been on live for an hour, and we've only talked about like 3 things. I got to be faster. But BRB. All right, yo, we back. We back. Ian Gary's been saying a couple of things actually. Originally, I wanted to talk about his thoughts on Conor Max, but I think while we kind of scroll through this, it'll come up. Let me just see if I. Yeah, I think we good. So Ian Gary says Islam turned down an official fight offer to fight him back in May.
I was told I was next in January.
Wow.
I was told I was next in January. There was talks about April. Then there was an official offer put out May 9th, to which he turned down for Newark. I threw out the ideas of International Fight Week. They said they had Fight Week. We deserve to be the main event. Obviously, they had Conor and Max planned for that, which is huge. And then, yeah, it just ended up. Eventually, it was no. They wanted to do. They spoke to me about how that they needed to do their due diligence and put on one of the biggest fights they possibly could, which was Ilya versus Islam at the White House. Islam turned it down, to my knowledge, from what I've been told.
Interesting. So if Islam versus Ilya went down at the White House, I would have been pissed. One, because why? There's not an American in the main event. And I would have figured that would probably be the main event, considering the co-main was Alex and Cyril. But I think this all checks out because if you guys remember, he went to Tbilisi. He went to Tbilisi, Georgia, to start training with the Georgian wrestlers because he said from the get that if he was gonna fight Islam Makhachev, he was gonna go to Georgia to learn wrestling. And it's funny because we was watching the Los Tuporia show and on HBO Max. That's the Ilya Tuporia 3-part docuseries. In the show, he does go back to visit Georgia. He goes to visit his grandparents who pretty much raised him when he was little. And the building that Ian Gary was staying at was shown. So I don't know if Tbilisi is like just super small, but it was a coincidence because Alexandre Tuporia was there at the time too. So I don't know specifically who he trained with, but I figured maybe there was overlap with the Tuporia brothers. Well, it looks like Ian goes on to say that UFC welterweight division will be better off with him as champion instead of Islam. Islam only fights once a year. His neck defense might be in July 2027. We literally just went through Ian's activity. He had one fight in 2025 and no fights in 2026. Right? Is that true? Yeah, I have it up still. Oh, sorry. He fought 2 times in 2025. He did fight 3 times in 2024, 3 times in 2023, 2 times in 2022. Okay, so he fights anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year, as opposed to Islam. I mean, not that much different. Not that much different. You think Ian is scared of Morales? That's interesting, but look at that. Let's see what the hell he says here about Morales.
If I was Michael Morales, you know what my advice would be to him? Go up to 185. Because you're young, you're big, you're somewhat talented. There's a lack of stars up there in the sport. And I think he could do very well there. But if he wants to stay at 170, I'll punch a hole in his head at some point in time.
So what makes you think that he's scared of Morales, Brady? Because he said, I'll punch a hole in his head. If he wants. I did find it funny how he phrased it, but I think that'd be a fun ass fight. I'm with it. I don't think Ian is shook of Michael Morales. Michael Morales likes to he likes to parade in dresses I think it's a cultural thing, but still. Ian has no chance versus Islam. Not the eye poke, bro. So he thinks he's the trickiest opponent for Islam. I'm tricky on the feet, on the ground. I'm hard to touch, hard to control. I'm hard to predict. There is nobody in this division who's a trickier matchup for Islam Makhachev. One of the things that I think that people underestimate with Ian Gary, to be completely honest, is his ground game. I'm not saying it's elite. I'm not saying that it's better than Islam's. But I think one thing that Ian Gary has done very well in his career is train with as many people as possible. He's gone out, he's trained at some of the best high-level gyms with several high-level people. And most recently, he's been training with Charles Oliveira, getting that ground game nice. If he's defending against Charles Oliveira on the ground, you have to think that he's got something. He's got something that he feels confident about that he can go up against Islam. The problem with Islam is so damn good and he's so damn strong, but he is fighting at welterweight. So there's always things to consider there. I think if it's on the feet, it's going to be a very interesting fight. Ian has length. Ian is a great striker. Obviously, we know this. But it is just crazy that Ian probably would have never developed his game had he stayed with his original team. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a huge thing going on at Cage Warriors at the time. It was a massive story where he left his gym, left his coaches, then he ends up getting married to this older woman, like all around the same time. Kind of crazy if you really think about it. But he would have never left. I don't think he would have explored as much as he did had he stayed with that team, because he probably would have had that typical mentality, the Conor McGregor mentality, right? Where you train with your guy, you bring your guy up, he's still with him. I mean, GSP was recently talking about, like, bro, if you're the boss in your camp, you got to switch that shit up. Like, you need your coaches need to be the boss of your camp. And, sometimes that just knowing your coach, they've had beef before. It's not like his coach is saying, yeah, well, I'm gonna let you walk all over me. Clearly that hasn't happened. They've bumped heads before. But anywho, yeah, had Ian not made that decision early on in his career, I don't think we'd see what he would have developed to until today. So my zesty Spider-Man is gonna be champ. I have a Michael Morales signature tops card. I don't know if it's numbered or not, but yeah, I'm gonna need him to win that shit. I need that stock to go up. Now this is what I wanted to freaking talk about.
You think Conor wins?
Absolutely. It's not an easy fight. Max is very good at what he does. He's obviously been in there against the best guys in the world repeatedly over and over and over again. But whilst Conor's been inactive, the hunger will start to thrive in his mind and in his skull. And at 170 pounds, I think this fight's very, very interesting. I think it's very interesting. Conor's going to have the knockout power.
You think Conor wins?
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'm going to end this poll, and I'm actually going to put another poll up. Looks like my shit's going slow. I'm going to put up a quick poll. Does Connor All right, I just put the poll up. I'm curious to see what you guys think. If you guys agree with Ian or not. Brady says, honestly, this fight is very hard to predict because we just don't know what Connor will show up. Yeah, that's a pretty solid take, I'd say. I think motivated Connor shows up, bro, and at welterweight. We've seen Max Holloway's first fight in a new division. We've seen how that's gone, and when he doesn't actually take the time to put on the weight. We saw what happened with Alex Pereira. He put on way too much weight, and he was slow, got caught. I think there's some factors that fans aren't necessarily talking about. But what I find interesting is that, Ian Gary was training with him. I said this on the Scrap House episode. How long Connor's camp has been, if you actually think about it, has been insane. And who he's been in the ring with in the lead up, we got to remember, he trained with Ian. Let's see. Hopefully they I will say this, Meta's fucking algorithm is absolute trash. It's like, if it's not recent, you ain't finding shit. Ian Gary Connor sparring. I'll just search it. Look at that. Okay, Liv Morganson with the 99.99 super chat. First off, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Second, it says Connor wins and then enters the Royal Rumble. Well, I love you too. And yo, could you guys imagine that shit? Connor wins, enters the Royal Rumble in January, wins, challenges the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania in April. Because you guys got to remember, his second fight apparently is happening in April. So maybe he does WrestleMania at the beginning of the year. And then he fights. Nah, that definitely wouldn't happen. But it is freaking hilarious that that they've been talking. They've been not talking, but Connor's been talking shit about Roman being at the White House card. And I think it was mainly aimed at TKO not representing the UFC fighters who were in attendance, because I don't think we saw a single UFC fighter, active UFC fighter, in the crowd that they propped. They didn't want Sean Strickland around, right? He's the only male champ. I feel like Kayla Harrison was there, but I don't think we saw her in the crowd. She's the only other American champ that we have. They propped Tyson Fury big. I think Carlos Ulberg was there. I don't think I saw him. Joshua Van was in the crowd. I don't think I saw him. Freaking, what's his name? There's a dude that looks like Baraka from Mortal Kombat. I forget his name. He was in the crowd. I don't think they said anything. So I think it was mainly aimed at that. But I feel like Connor is trying to insert himself again. So we'll see. Just saying, the last time Connor got a win, it was at 170. That is true. I think that's just, he feels better. What's interesting is that Connor's length, Connor's arm reach is still favorable at welterweight than it was, at 45. That shit was unreal. But at welterweight, he's still in line with those guys who fight there regularly, his reach. Conor's a freaking spider, bro. I'm telling you. So yeah, we'll see. I do find it interesting that they made this matchup. I think really it's probably the best matchup that they could have made. We actually talked about this in episode 3 of the Scrap House. And I put a clip up. So if y'all want to go check that out after this, please do. But briefly, I think it's the best matchup they could have made. Conor's not just somebody who can fight a Carlos Prates. No offense to Carlos Prates, but that's just not. It's just not what can happen. He's Conor fucking McGregor, and he can't freaking co-headline to a title fight because he's the bigger draw. So yeah, what's good, Thunder? How's it going, buddy? So now that we talked about that, let's talk about. I feel like I saw this shit the other day. Max will be too slow compared to Conor. To be honest, I don't think you're wrong in saying that. Conor's walked around with this weight for years. So he's comfy. And he's been training. Hope your stream went well. There's a couple things that I want to watch. First one is my man Gaethje. He did not accept the truck from Arman Sarukian, bro. And now Arman Sarukian is giving it away. So Arman Sarukian, I need that shit. Send it over here, please. But no, this actually isn't what I wanted to talk about. It's this whole talk about retirement. There's a lot of people saying that Justin Gaethje should retire on top. Even I'm pretty sure GSP, which I want to see exactly what he said, so we'll search it after this. But a lot of people are talking about Justin Gaethje retiring. It's crazy. And he looks like he don't want to.
Are you going to continue fighting?
For right now, I'm planning on it. There's not something natural in me that feels like it's over.
What are your thoughts? Like, when you're thinking about competing, who do you think it will be? You think it'll be Arman?
No.
No?
I can't say that I have a name.
Do you think Ely's going to try for a rematch?
No, he doesn't get a rematch. He can try, but he doesn't get one.
Wow.
He quit on the stool. He quit twice. I stopped him twice. What else do I have to fucking do? His next challenge can't be me. He needs to fight Patty or someone like that.
Are you going to continue fighting?
He needs to fight Patty or somebody like that. To be honest, I mean, he's not wrong. He beat the shit out of him. I think that was his, wasn't that his first, real defense? I believe it was at 155 anyway. So one of the rules that we have at the Scrap House is if you weren't really a defending champion, if you didn't get to defend that belt, you shouldn't deserve an immediate rematch. Even more so how the outcome of the fight went. But yeah, dude, I don't understand why people are saying this. They want him to retire. Even GSP is talking about it, and I actually haven't even watched this clip.
He's a kind of guy that works really hard, and he comes back from adversity. It's really inspiring to see what he has accomplished.
Yeah.
You might not like what I'm gonna say, but if I were him, because I like him,
right off in the sunset.
Yeah.
We said
retirement.
The same thing. We said the same
I
thing.
heard Demetrius Johnson said it, but that's what I would do. That would be an amazing ending. What else does he want to accomplish? He did it all. He did it all. Of course, he will. For money, if you stop now, you have under the impression you leave money on the table, maybe, because you're fighting for a title. But you know, and I'm sure he can still beat a lot of guys. Maybe he can still go on a roll because he still can do it. But health, I think, is the priority, and also the fact that, man, when you're a professional athlete in combat sport, it's very hard to retire on top because you're always tempted to see, oh, I can do one more, and you probably can do. But man, what a magnificent way to end a career it would be for him.
I mean, yeah, it would be an absolute hell of a way to end your career. But Justin Gaethje loves this shit. He's one of those few who absolutely gets a hard on every single time he's fighting in that cage. So to me, I just think it's premature. It's premature as hell. I feel like, I mean, the dude was just getting knocked out by Max Holloway in the most disgusting way possible. To come back and now win, yeah, he's going to taste that shit and he's going to be like, I want more. I want more. Justin Gaethje says he better not. We need that Patty fight for Ilya 100%, bruh. 100%. And actually, I'm gonna share. We have that clip actually, because I remember it vividly when it happened. Oh, and it's old too. How do I get to it? Ilya Patty Scrap News. Maybe if I search that. There it is. We have over 302K views on this shit. Charlie, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
I want a blonde that Paddy. I want a blonde that Paddy.
He wants that blonde beep. He been wanting this smoke. We published this shit. When was this? March 19th, 2022, bro. It's 2026. It's been 4 years in the making, this fight, this rivalry. So I say we got to freaking book that shit. Book that shit ASAP. Weren't they throwing bottles at each other too? Yes, dude, at one of the press conferences. But then what's weird is like then they kind of like dropped the beef. Let's see. Yo, this shit was funny.
Well done, lad. Look at me. Look at me. That was a heavy knockout. I'll give you that respect. But you will never knock me out. I'm going to knock me out. You live. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my balls on your forehead.
I'm gonna put my balls on your forehead is the craziest shit I have ever seen somebody say to the face of somebody else, bro.
Knock me out. You know I don't get knocked out. You get knocked out. I finish you. Even before the fight. I finish you, little man.
Yo, I think this was Ilya Poirier getting upset about being called short. This is where it was born, right here.
You ask from here. I finish you.
Boom. That's all it takes. You call Ilya short, it's on. It's on. He wants to fucking beat your ass. Don't call him short. I don't know how they did not do this fight. To be completely honest with you, like maybe some negotiations in the back didn't really transpire. Also, you know, let me also not go back on my word because I said this previously. Like, I hate when UFC takes shiny new object, both getting views, both getting wins, both gaining fucking massive attractions in their home countries, and stall their careers by putting them against each other too early. So I will say I'm glad it did not happen. But they could have capitalized on the heat, especially if rankings didn't matter to Dana. Like, that shit should have happened at least last year. It should have been the title. It should have been the fight for the title. It shouldn't have been Charles versus Topuria. But nonetheless, That shit was perfect. Let me see if I can find that press conference because, oh God, he was talking shit about his finish.
English, yeah?
Hey.
Speak English.
You want to talk to me like the man to man? You said something about me. I went to your country. I slapped your face. I get at the waist and
That
grin.
is true.
I walk like a king in your street.
Are you talking English?
And what you did? What you
Is that
did,
English?
Man? Yeah, of course I do.
Speak English for the people.
Shut up.
Not German or Spanish like you're from.
I'm talking,
mongrel.
Yo, he's
talking in
literally
English.
speaking
And
English.
fuck you in English. You get
Dude was literally talking in English. Patty must have been fucking.
te follan en español.
Period.
Yeah, Espanol because you're Spanish.
Yeah.
You
Good
pretend
one.
to be Georgian
Do
when you're
what
not.
you- what-
were
what
born
I
in
did to
Germany
you in your
and you live
country.
in Spain.
Try to do it
You
in
were
Spain,
born in Germany
and you're gonna see
and
what's
you
gonna
live in
happen to you,
Spain.
you
You're a
fucking
little
rat.
mongrel.
Shut up.
That's what you.
No, I guess you can't be mixed raced around Patty the Batty, guys. Watch out. So stupid. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Here it is. Commercials, of course. Damn commercials. Now Gaethje murked them both. I know.
Oh. That shit. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch.
Sorry. The way he said that shit was so funny. You bitch. Yeah, that was. Yeah, they've been going at this for. This was also 4 years ago. So yeah, they should have totally capitalized on this at some point. That shit is crazy, bro. I mean, he's still coming after him.
Oh my God, you quit, you little bitch. Dustin Gaethje, man, the ultimate spoiler. Oh my God, you quit like a little bitch. My face was worse than yours, you little Dustin Gaethje.
No. He said my face was worse than yours. Guys, I want to be smoking whatever it is that Patty's smoking because holy shit. 3 things already that he said that make absolutely no sense. Charlie says the UFC is just hiding very good fights for no reason. I agree. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think the MVP card lit a fire under their ass because they announced Connor Max, they announced Dricus and Kamaru. I think that's a pretty boss fight. I think they realized they got to be doing this shit. I don't know what they're doing. There's so many rivalries and fights and feuds that they could really lean into, and they don't. He beat me up worse than you is dude. That's the fucking best argument I've heard all day. Like, what? Who does that? Patty, apparently.
Dustin Gaethje. Well in, lad. Undisputed champion. You deserve it after your career. I am going to finish BSD, and I want that rematch with Dustin Gaethje for the undisputed title.
So he wants the rematch with Justin Gaethje, but he has to get past BSD. And in a lot of ways, I feel like BSD, like the fight with BSD isn't going to go any different than it did with Gaethje, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure. You think Islam versus Ian is going to be almost the same thing as Conor Khabib? In terms of the Ireland versus Russia, absolutely. Well, hopefully the fight, I mean, that fight, I was there live and it was the best thing ever. So hopefully it's similar. But that's another fight that they recently made, right? I feel like they are finally the Ronda Rousey of all people lighting the fire under Hunter Campbell's ass and said, "Bro, you could do better. What are you doing? Make better matches, make better cards." He said, "I bet. I'm taking the call." People are sleeping on BSD. I 1000% agree. Guys, my dog wants to go outside real quick. So, BRB. All right, we back. So yeah, that shit is crazy. And people want Justin Gaethje to retire. There's just way too many, in my opinion, way too many good fights, good matchups for him. There's just way too many. But since we've kind of went all over the place with my original, I guess, goal. I do want to talk about this because, well, let's just watch.
I'm in a place where it's like I deserve to be compensated for what I have done.
100%.
Not for what I'm going to do, or I shouldn't have to fight next to be UFC 300, UFC 324, and now this. Those are the biggest stages that the UFC needed somebody to do something phenomenal. And they picked me every single time, and I delivered. I wasn't the main event of UFC 300, but co-main event still stole the show, even though I lost. And so I think I need to be compensated for what I've done. That's where I'm at.
So you're
But
talking
that's
about
also,
in the future for like a next fight?
Like,
yeah, renegotiate.
No. I'm not talking about for the next fight. I'm talking about the UFC should make a company and give me equity in that company.
The UFC should make a company and give me equity in that company.
And, so I can build passive income like that. Like, I'm not saying that's what.
Have you talked to them about something
No,
like that?
no, I would. I've never asked. Luckily, I have a personal assistant now, so she asks for things for me, but I've never been the guy that asks for things. I wish.
Hold up. Justin Gaethje got a personal assistant now. Okay. Big leagues.
I wish people that were opposite of me that ask for things and get all kinds of things, I wish I was given those things without asking, because obviously people know that it's appreciated and I like it.
This is a funny way to end it. So this shit is crazy, right? Because Conor McGregor has asked for equity before. And I feel like Justin Gaethje's the man. So no disrespect when I say this, but I don't think that he's really done as much for the sport maybe as Conor in terms of the eyes that he's brought in. So this is a little, I guess I didn't expect him to ask for equity, but the UFC already said no to Conor McGregor. So if they're going to say no to Conor McGregor, I feel like there's no way they're saying yes to Justin Gaethje. Even though it is, I think they deserve some type of cut. They deserve to be paid a shit ton more. Conor McGregor was able to negotiate his deal because the Paramount Plus essentially killed the pay-per-view model, right? So they're not making as much money as they normally have in the past when they fight. So I think it's just a matter of Gaethje having to bring this up and talk about it, because that's the thing with like business and being in the pond with the big sharks is they ain't bringing this shit up if you don't bring it up. Not everybody's nice like that. So I just thought this was
I'm in a place where it's like,
I just thought it was a very interesting ask, or a very interesting thing to say while on the Joe Rogan podcast. My man Justin Gaethje with the 10 jewels. Thank you so much. Charlie says, did you know that Arman wanted to go to WWE, saying that he will make $3 million off one match? He wants his money, and yes, my favorite fighter of all time. Chill out, Arman. Charlie, are you saying WWE, or are you talking about RAF? Because he wrestles for RAF, and he makes a lot of money. And he makes a lot of money. Okay. Let's talk about MVP versus the UFC, because I think this has been a freaking hot debate. And there's a lot of people chiming in with their opinions, so we might as well freaking chime in as well. Obviously, it came out that apparently the UFC reached similar numbers when you break down all the freaking, layers to whatever the hell they put out. And, MVP's taking a victory lap. Apparently, freaking the immortal Matt doesn't understand why they're taking a victory lap. So I actually haven't seen this clip. Let's watch this shit.
Yeah, I don't know what they're celebrating there. I mean, yeah, like you said, well, it's already forgotten that card happened, right? The only reason we're even talking about it now is because they're doing their victory lap or whatever, and I don't know like I don't know what they're trying to like what Ronda's trying to get out of instigating Hunter Campbell. Like, dude's got a nice salary, like he lives a good life, I'm sure. Like he's working on building big things. Like, I don't know. What are you doing? Like, what do you think you just accomplished? Like, I highly doubt that Hunter Campbell said, "Oh shit, man, they got more viewers than us. What are we gonna do?" Like,
first off, that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. So I don't know why people just can't admit that.
No, he's like eating dinner at a 5-star Michelin 5-star restaurant and relaxing with his buddies and talking about the Conor McGregor Max Holloway fight and who they're going to put on the show. You know what I mean?
I just gotta stop this shit because I will say this: I met Matt Brown at a UFC fight. I took a picture with him. He's a cool guy, super nice guy, but his takes are fucking ass. All of his takes are ass, and he does a lot of with the UFC. I'm just not one of those guys who's gonna do that. I just don't agree with what he's saying. A couple things. One, he's saying no one's really talking about the MVP MMA card. I think there's some people still talking about it, but you're right. Everybody's talking about the White House. But you know what they're talking more about? They're talking more about Josh Hokett's thoughts on Michelle Obama, and they're talking more about this alleged hoax that the FBI stopped. They're not talking about Justin Gaethje. They're not talking about the main event. They're not talking about all the fights. They're not talking about how the USA fighters were slept by other countries on the South Lawn. They ain't talking about none of that. So the fact that apparently Hunter Campbell is unbothered because he's rich as shit, that's not the fucking narrative we're gonna let fly here because he's so fucking pressed. If he was impressed, they wouldn't have announced Conor Max at the same day. They wouldn't have been making these banger ass matchups if they didn't have a fire lit under their ass. It's the same thing with AEW and WWE. For those who do watch pro wrestling, like, you kind of need that competition. So in my opinion, I want MVP MMA to fucking succeed and continue hitting it out the park, right? Then he goes on to say, "Oh, they're talking about the Conor McGregor matchup." Yeah, bet they probably are. But here's the thing, Matt. Conor McGregor has 2 fights left on his contract. The entire, and I am about to give you guys a little scoop on my video, but the entire Paramount Plus contract was essentially laid out with Conor McGregor in mind. Conor McGregor revealed they have not renegotiated shit with him yet, right? He has not renegotiated his contract. He wants to stay. They have not even attempted, which is blasphemy. I never even used that word before until now. You think that Hunter Campbell and the UFC isn't going to fucking tank when Conor leaves? If your excuse is, oh, they're talking about the Conor fight, probably because the Conor fight is going to bring in a lot of money and a lot of eyes, yeah, because it's Conor McGregor. What happens when Conor leaves, bro? That's what you're hanging on to? I mean, not saying that's what he's hanging on to, but that's the first fight he mentioned. Oh, they're talking about Conor McGregor. Like, oh, Conor McGregor's talking about fucking testing free agency. And I agree with you, Brady. The MVP card not having a follow-up is what will hurt them. It's already been 2 months with 0 follow-up. 100% agreed. I truly think they were waiting to see the numbers for Paramount Plus because they were going to do the victory lap. And I think they were going to take the momentum from the victory lap to announce card number 2. I think the issue is and this is just me pure fucking delusion. I think they're trying to get John Jones out of this contract because they want to make Ngannou Jones. And I don't think they want to announce a second matchup if a headliner like that isn't solidified. However, However, I think they're gearing up for an announcement. And you know what? Let me not talk. Let me show you guys. I think they're gearing up for a massive announcement. Because look who the fuck was at Netflix Studios. Let me not put that music. The journey continues, he says. All right. He recently lost to Usyk. Dude was winning the fight. That was the most bullshit thing I've ever watched. Those last few seconds. But whatever. He's protesting it. They're not going to give it to him. You know how many times people have said, bro, like how many people have said you're never going to beat the boxing establishment. They're just never going to allow somebody from the outside to come in and win. So I think, yeah, Brady, I think they are trying to make Rico versus Francis. And I think that announcement's coming soon. And if that shit does, just remember you fucking heard it here first. Boxing is faker than pro wrestling is crazy. I want to see. Eddie Hall says, I've seen you get your eye closed, your nose smashed across your face, smashed in the ribs with the flying knee, wobble for a few seconds, then come back and smash the shit out of them. You're built different and you had every chance of coming back and ending it. The robbery is, we will never know. Hope you get that rematch. He's not getting the rematch. They're not going to want to do that shit to him again. It's just crazy to me. But I think they're going to make Francis Ngannou versus Rico. And that is going to fucking do numbers. Rico has 2.5 million followers on Instagram alone. It's just going to be massive. So all that to say, like, I wanted to, and actually let me go back to that freaking clip because Matt Brown's takes just be pissing me off, dude. He clearly slid in Ronda's DMs and got ignored. Like, that's the only way that I can see it. The way that he comes for like a Ronda versus anybody else is it's insane.
I don't know if they even have those kind of numbers in entertainment, but if you look at 9 million viewers versus whatever 300 million subscribers or whatever the number is versus
this is fucking cope. I need you guys to understand this is fucking massive level amounts of cope happening. When you have to come with next subscribers, more subscribers than Paramount Plus, like that, all that shit missed me with that. All that shit missed me with that. The UFC fucking chose to go on Paramount Plus. Boo-hoo. This is massive amounts of cope.
7 million viewers and 50 million subscribers. Like that percentage is way higher. So, I don't know. I'm just not sure what they're trying to accomplish. I mean, if they come out the next day and they're like, okay, well, this is going to be our next show and we're going to beat you again, I don't know, something like that.
That's what they're going to be doing.
But I don't think Hunter, Dana, Ari, or TKO group, I don't think a single one of these people are losing 1 second of sleep over this.
Oh,
we'll see what they do. I think that
they ain't losing 1 ounce of sleep. Yo, when I break down the Paramount contract, guys, I feel like you guys are going to be very surprised. The video is taking me a while, and I hate that I keep just teasing it without being able to give you guys a drop date. But they are totally losing sleep.
They're pretty smart people, and I don't know. Again, if you're the promoter, I understand taking a victory lap here, right? You got to. You're the promoter. That's what you should do. You're not going to concede and say, "Oh, the UFC, is doing great," right? You're promoting, so I get that. You got to take what you can get, and hopefully, all I can say is hopefully that they do actually keep something sustainable here. I hope they do something good. I think
you got to sprinkle in the I hope, because then he can say, "Oh, I wasn't mad they're successful." That's what he's fucking doing. Brady, I think we could argue that 250 was not the bigger show. It wasn't the bigger show in gate. It wasn't the bigger show in viewership. It wasn't the bigger show in star power either. Like and this is this is gonna piss a lot of people off, but I think I'm okay with pissing people off. The only fighter who can go up against Ronda Rousey in numbers is Conor McGregor. Why do you think they announced Conor McGregor's comeback? Why do you think they were so quick to fight? He has been begging for a fucking fight for years. He went on Ariel Helwani and said, I don't understand what took forever. You know what? Why they finally did it? Because Ronda Rousey fucking blew them out of the water. Bro, there is a reason why I posted this picture. I have it somewhere. Damn, I didn't realize how much I retweet the scrap. Me with the bald cap. That shit fucking cracks me up. Let me just search it. Conor McGregor posted this shit after the MVP card. And it really is 2016 all over again, guys. This is his only fucking competition. This is his only from a fan. It doesn't matter from a fan point. We talking facts. We're talking numbers. Opinions got to go out of the way when we're talking about this shit. Because yeah, it was massive. It's the White House card. It has all these phenomenal fighters. Guess what? Both of their stars both lost on that night. Look at social media presence. Look at followings. Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey combined blow Ilia Topuria, Alex Pereira, and Sean O'Malley out the fucking gates when it comes to viewership numbers. When we talking about talent, okay, that's a different story, right? Talent, yeah, obviously it's the UFC. It's fucking Ilia Topuria. It's Alex Pereira. I'm talking facts. I'm talking numbers. I'm talking social media currency. I'm talking digital influence. I'm talking cultural fucking movers. This is the only person who can compete with Conor McGregor. They had to put three of their biggest stars on this freaking card. And they couldn't beat Ronda Rousey and Francis. The viewerships were definitely similar, but they added layers. Watch, we're going to get into it in just a bit, actually. Because it was like 8,000 in the US, 8,000 in Latin America. I don't think Netflix went that deep. I've brought this up before, and I'm going to bring it up again. Because I really don't think people understand what Dana White looks for when matchmaking. And even though he doesn't matchmake, he's told us a million times, when the viewership spikes when you're fighting, that's good for you, right? We're going to put you on the main card. That might be why Gable Steveson got pumped. I don't know. Then they reveal the meta rankings, and they tell you what matters most to me are finishes, and what matters most to me is activity, right? So we go here, right? This was written, by the way, in 2025. So this is definitely different. I updated it after Ilya's, not his last fight, but the one after that, or the one before that. Right? At the time of writing this, Conor McGregor had 57 million followers in total. This is X and Instagram, nothing else. No YouTube, no TikTok, none of that. Conor McGregor had 57 million in total. Khabib is second to him, but we know Khabib is never coming back. 41 million. Ronda Rousey is in third, the only female on this list, 20 million. John Jones, 12.4 million. Anderson Silva, not even active in MMA, 12.3 million. Islam Makhachev, 11.1 million. Ilya Tuporia was climbing up, 11 mil. So he's on the card. Kamzat, 10.4 mil. Israel Adesanya, 10.3 mil. Nate Diaz, 9.4 mil. By the way, he was on the MVP card. Charles Oliveira, 8.7, not on the card. Francis Ngannou's on this list, 8.4. So now you got Francis Ngannou, Nate Diaz, and Ronda Rousey. George St. Pierre, 7.7 million. Pereira, okay, he's on the UFC card. He's on this list at 7.2. So we have Tuporia, we have Pereira, and then we have Dustin at 15. I broke down even further. You have Max at 16. You have Sean O'Malley at 18. So, when you take this shit into account, right, and this is the embarrassing part. The UFC, who has been around longer, and their biggest stars today, 3 of their biggest stars today were on that card. They are seeing similar numbers than the old heads. I think you have a problem. We can sit here and say, okay, the numbers were the same. That's not even that is not even a positive. You mean to tell me that a company on their first card is reaching what we've done over fucking 5 years or 25 years, 30 years? I think it's past 30 at this point. So, yeah, I'm over here fucking ranting. Put some respect on Francis. Facts. My man Lames in the chat. Rampage Jackson. I want to show you a clip of Rampage Lames, so do not go anywhere. Chai Town, yo, congrats on the 20K. Thanks, brother. I can't believe that we finally freaking reached it. So yeah, 3v3. And we can look at it and say, hey, they were similar numbers. That's awesome. But I'm sorry, I ain't rewarding a company that's been around for over 30 years. And their biggest stars today can't beat the washed fighters, the old heads, no one cares about that card. No one's tuning in to watch the aunties fight. Psh, they fucking did. They clearly fucking did, bro. So to me, it's just not a win, and there's just massive amounts of cope happening. But you know what, Brady? I'm over here talking shit, and I didn't even really dig into the numbers. I just know, oh shit, Blake Monroe's finally debuting on SmackDown. Come in, buddy. I need to see the breakdown of this numbers. Can you give me the breakdown of first card in UFC Freedom 250? Because what I also found interesting, that were certain outlets with the UFC, they were all saying different numbers. So who do you actually freaking believe? And yes, we do use fucking AI because Grok is the shit. All right. It says here, the event, many quick finishes, 8 out of 11 fights ended early, drew strong viewership with the Netflix broadcast peaking around 11.6 million viewers in the US, a record for MMA events at the time. Okay, that is US. I need you guys to remember that. US. At Netflix MMA peaked at 11.6 million viewers in the US. UFC Freedom, by the way, is all, and this is part of the cope. Everyone's like, oh, it's fights on a Sunday. If it was on a Saturday, it would have done better. Okay. That's what ifs. UFC Freedom 250 averaged 8.2 million viewers total, 7 million in the US, 1.2 million in Latin America. So when you guys have been in media as long as I have, and beyond the writing, beyond the content, right? When you're in media and you start to understand how things go viral and how the media works and how it really is just a game of who can put on the biggest facade, UFC coupled that fucking number. They coupled that number for you so that Brady can come into my chat and say, well, aren't the viewerships the same? Not to pick on you, Brady, but you know what I mean? That's what they did. To the people scrolling, everyone's like, oh, it's the same number. Nah, it's not. The Netflix MVP card averaged 11.6 million viewers, the peak in the US alone. The only reason the UFC reached it is because they combined Latin America numbers to the US numbers, bro. Did it break records for Paramount? Yes. Was it a hell of a card? Fuck yes. Was it an awesome night? Yes. Was it the better card overall? Undoubtedly. But if that doesn't show you that the UFC has a problem and that Hunter Campbell isn't losing sleep at night, Matt Brown, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Lame says, are you saying no fighter can be bigger than the UFC name and that is why they pushed Ronda others away? There's an element of that. Yeah, we actually talk about that in episode 2 of the Scrap House. The UFC doesn't want a fighter bigger than them. So when Ronda is coming back and saying, fuck you, Hunter Campbell, take your lace front off, because she snatched that shit off, right? She deserves that. She doesn't deserve to be, oh, I don't understand what she's doing. Oh, she's loud. She talks too much. No, she beat his ass single-handedly because they didn't want to invest in that fight. And a lot of people, that's the crazy part is that there's just like WWE versus AEW, there is tribalism in MMA. Or it's starting to show, I guess I should say, because there hasn't really been competition for the UFC. Right? So now you have people defending the MVP card, and you have people, the people that are UFC are like, rah, 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 nobody wants to watch Auntie's fight. But if Hunter Campbell would have said yes, they would have watched that fight and it would have drew numbers because Ronda is still the third biggest draw in MMA. I need you to fucking clip that and put that shit on social media. How is Ronda still the third biggest draw in MMA? It's because, to what Lames just said, the UFC doesn't want anybody bigger than the sport. They held Conor McGregor's career hostage for fucking years, and I'm going to prove it in my next video. And the only reason why they called his ass was because Ronda Rousey blew it out of the fucking park. And the only person who can compete with Ronda Rousey today, numbers-wise, guys, I'm talking numbers, I'm talking business, is fucking Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor has 2 fights left on his contract. And in 2024, he said, I have to test the free agency. I'm the biggest draw in the sport. I would be stupid not to. That was a fucking rant. I'm going to get canceled on YouTube. They're going to be like, this stream is getting flagged for inappropriate language. Chi-Town said, was it the best stream? Yes. Oh, absolutely. Who do you think is going to win the King of the Ring? Jay. But yeah, I would say that's a I just went in, so hopefully you guys understood that because I try to bring in facts. I try to bring in figures. I like to talk numbers. I don't like to talk opinions. And I think sometimes a lot of people don't get that. They don't understand that. And they might not like what I gotta say. But hopefully, if you're rewatching this, you're gonna have to let me know in the comments. Am I fucking crazy? Am I delusional? We will see. One of the other things that I really wanted to talk about, guys, is And we're kind of going all over the place right now. But would you guys be up for this fight?
You go, or do I go up? Do I go? I was like, hey, let's do it. Nah, look, man, people ask me, would you do it? Of course I'll do it. I'm going to call it when if I feel like I deserve it, and you've seen when I was defending my belt 5 times before I asked for the double champ, and then had the fight with Islam. Like, that's just how it is. Like, I lost the belt, defended against Lopez. Oh, yeah, got the belt back, defended against Lopez. Does that put me in a position to go get another chance at the... So I'm not going to call for it. That's the type of champion I am. I think you need to earn it. But if the UFC was to offer it, of course. See 2 38-year-old fellas go at it in the lightweight division. 100%. Of course I would.
Yo, I love this guy. I got to tell you some fun stories about him.
So that's it, 100%. But again, I don't know. Armin should be next. But when you're not doing what the UFC want and you're not going to be in a company, man, you can be punished for it. And so we'll see what happens. Here you go, Order.
Boom. Grady says no because I don't want either of them to lose. I think that's what makes this fight so compelling, though. Like, we know Volk's been wanting to move up. Why not? Why not? They just eliminated the guy who he could not beat. They got a fresh matchup. I say let's do it. Fuck it. He's been spitting facts, though. Apparently, I did not see this clip either, but apparently he comes to Alex's defense. Oh, by the way, the fact that he says two 38-year-old fellas going at it in the lightweight division, we over here, I mean, I know, what's her name? Gina Carano's older, but Ronda's only 39. And we over here like, who wants to watch 2 aunties fight? Well, we about to watch 2 uncles fight for the fucking belt. It's not about age, guys. You guys are just so, and not you guys, because you guys in the stream are the fucking best. But the haters, the ones who talk shit online every day, is like, you guys watch Alex Pereira fight. Dude's in his 40s. Like, shut up.
This is going to happen. We're fighters. You hurt someone, you go for the finish. This stuff's going to happen because you're trying to go for the finish and you're just, you're going for it. I'm not saying I did it on purpose, but I felt like the refs, maybe, Herb, I love you, mate, but I feel like you should have been pretty vocal. Watch the back of the head. I remember looking and he'd seen a couple of men and he wasn't. And I'm like, it's not even telling him to watch the back of the head. I'm like, what's going on here type thing. But that's how many shots to the back of the head was happening that I would seen a couple, then went to look at the ref to see he was even saying anything. Oh, he's not even saying it. Then looking back, man, he's still going. I kept looking back. Like, well, I'm talking, there was a decent amount of time with a lot of shots to the back of the head. But it should be a talking point. Yeah, I'm not taking away from Ghana. I feel like maybe if
you think, I feel like everyone's on a campaign. I think Irv Dean might lose his reffing job with the UFC. Just how many fighters have been vocal lately since that's happened?
If Herb was say, watch the back of the head, he would have maybe, I didn't realize I was hidden, maybe he would think, or he'll try better to get around. Could there be a different outcome if you hurt Pereira? Because he was obviously doing the right stuff to recover. So he was on his way to recover until there was a lot of other shots. And I explained where I thought them shots were landing. And then he was getting wobbled, and you get direct contact on the brain like this. So that's going to be hard to recover from. So it's a tricky one, man. I don't want to throw shade on people, but I mean, there was a lot of back of the head shots. And to be honest, if it was someone that...
I saw that video too. I actually have to watch it again because I think people were trying to say that it was like a direct response or whatever, but it wasn't.
That I didn't like that did that. I'd probably be a lot more clear with how I'm saying this, right? Because there was a lot of. I'm talking more than 10 shots, maybe, because it was clear watching it live. I thought very clear. We need to have that discussion, yeah, and we're having that discussion. And if Pereira's asking for people to speak about it, here I am. I'm not taking away from Garn, but that instance, we need to have conversations about that because that was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know if you guys, I don't think I've told you guys this, or you guys know that I've been an MMA manager. One of my fighters actually was on his season of The Ultimate Fighter where he coached him. And they all loved him. Apparently, Volkanovski was like naked half of the freaking time, so they probably didn't show half the footage because of that. He was always playing some type of pranks. But he was one of my favorite coaches. I think he was dope. Yeah, let's look at that Herb Dean video real quick.
I could tell by some of the comments online that I owe you guys an explanation about the rules and how I refereed the fight. All respect to both fighters. I'm talking about Gane and Pereira.
Oh, shit.
Amazing fight.
It was a direct response. What the fuck? Unless that's AI.
The rule we're talking about is the back of the head, and that's confusing because it's different than boxing. And the way we enforce this rule is we focus on the nape of the neck, and that's really what the rule should be called. The nape of the neck or occipital junction also covers the spine, and it covers a line right here with 1 inch variance to either side.
Everyone has a different big fucking size head. Just stopped it to say, Justin Bates you with the jewels. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
So right here. This is what we go over in a rules meeting. I will let them know that this area is a foul, off limits. That this area is a fair blow. Here is a fair blow. Turn to the side so we can see it here. Here is a fair blow. Here is a foul. Hopefully that's useful to you guys and clear things up at all. I could tell by some of the...
I mean, if that's true, then I would say he definitely still got hit with illegal shots, but it probably wasn't all of the ones that Alex thought. That shit's crazy. How is right outside of the tape not the back of the head, though? Well, that you got to remember that is the infamous Conor McGregor knockout. I doubt this clip is gonna come up. There's a clip of Conor McGregor talking to the ref about legal hits to the head. Man, I feel like I'm not gonna find it. The viral clip, Bella's hood. No, not jumping the cage. He was talking to the ref because he did it's that, he had that KO with the freaking elbows. And he was asking and they were saying what was legal. Those were legal too. It is weird that it's just that one little like section of your head, I guess, is illegal and no top of the head. That shit's crazy. I figured I wasn't gonna be able to find it. But you know what? I feel like laughing a little bit. I need to see this fucking video. I tried not to watch some of these things before so that I could see it, react with you guys live. I thought I was giving her a compliment. Is fucking wild. It's funny, by the way, speaking about this Michelle Obama comment, like, I know this is getting a lot of heat, but he said this in LFA previously, got no heat. I know it's because of the event that he was at, that now it's like a national thing. But he said this before, and we can't act like this wasn't a running point for Trump's campaign. Trump, his whole people were saying this. When Obama came out in support of Kamala and was doing all the runs with him. So like for like people in the White House to condemn it too, it's like, bro, the whole MAGA movement was saying that shit like years ago. And now nobody wants to like, I haven't seen a single person come to Josh's defense. So that's why I say that. There was this funny ass clip. Where is it? Oh God, he is so cringe. I think it's on his apparently Jamal Hill trying to fight Josh Hokett. What are you talking about? Dustin Poirier. What does Dustin Poirier got to say? Some days I'm great, some days I'm not. Oh yeah. He just reposted that clip we saw earlier. All right, Joshy. Where you at? This one.
So who were you going for? Okay, so who were you going for when I was fighting? You were the what?
The black guy. How old is the black guy?
You were going for the black guy?
Yeah, how
Why weren't you going for me?
Because you just ripped his hand.
What is that? I ripped his hand. What does that mean?
It means I'm cheering for
Because I ripped his hand, you're cheering for the black guy. Unreal, dude. Unbelievable. Okay, so who were you?
Like, dude. And this comment sums it up. Who let their kid around you, bro? Bruh. Yo, he's mad funny, actually. I also, actually, I want to show you guys this. This was such a cool ass clip that I found the other day. What is the account? RJ Clifford. I don't know if y'all watched the Cap and Horiguchi fight, but y'all can't tell me this isn't the coolest shit that you've ever seen.
Hey, so you see what he's leading with, right? He's leading big left hook, and that's what he's trying to shoot off of. Couple options now.
He hit you with the left hook, remember? In open stance, he hit you with the left hook. He's going to look for the left hook again.
We can crash that elbow. We can roll the hook into our left overhand, or we can bring the back knee, but we need your stance low. You know he's going to wrestle.
You need to put pressure. But low stance.
Let's lead with the backhand, right? Lead with your right. Don't be careful leading with the hook. And remember, no more body kicks, right? He's too tricky catching him. Doing great. 2-0.
Hey. Like, two of the best coaches in the world. Like, that is cool as shit, right? Nissick saying he's leading big left hook, couple options now. Brown says lead with the backhand, lead with the right. Careful leading with the hook. That's some Pokemon shit. That just, I don't know why. I just thought that was pretty cool. Let's talk about kind of the guy notes hit. Bro, let's talk about it.
126 for Cop. Our main event is a go.
Oh, God. And they're comparing it because Izzy did have it too. Izzy did have it too. How does Manuel Cop at 125 have a worse Gyno than Israel Adesanya? Unilateral, whatever, is undefeated in the octagon. Bet the house on Cap. And look at that. That aged very well. Never thought I'd say it, but Cobb looks like he's got worse Gyno titties than Adesanya. Was that enough Gyno titties for you, Brady? Yo, did you guys peep this? I've been wanting to watch this with you guys on stream, actually. But apparently, Tito and Chuck met at the freaking UFC PI. After their freaking crazy rivalry. I think this might have been the first time they've met up since, maybe?
How you doing, brother? Doing good, man.
Doing good.
I'm glad they put us together, man. Is everything doing good for you?
Yeah, everything's good, man. That's good. I don't know if you remember, but back when we were talking about fight posters, we had to actually be there together.
Right.
Explain it. Like, I remember 3 hours, we didn't say a freaking word. You and I touched noses.
Yep.
We're both like, oh, man. We both broke character for a minute. It was pretty funny, though.
If it wasn't for Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell, you might not even be at UFC today.
So this was the UFC Rivals. Brady, I think you were telling me about this, right? That they are doing UFC Rivals similar to WWE Rivals. This was not the first episode, though, right? Yeah, it says new tough season, UFC Rivals. Makes me so sad to hear Chuck speak. I have a Chuck Liddell autograph Topps card that I ended up getting. But yo, that was the funniest. Just like this first interaction. Just look at his face. He's kind of like, they don't. And they meet eyes.
What's up, Chuck? How you doing, brother? Doing good, man.
Doing good.
I'm glad they put his.
I beat his ass before. Yo, Tito Ortiz is in politics now, ain't he? The Chuck Man, the Ice Man. Yo, this was such a great freaking rivalry. We'll have to watch UFC. I have not watched UFC Rivals since it has come out yet, but def doing that. We talked about this. Yo, one of the other things that I really wanted to talk to you guys. Have you guys been peeping my man Islam training with freaking Olympians, dude? Just nonstop, too. That's all he's training with now. I do not see Khabib anywhere. I just want to say that I do not see Khabib anywhere near him ever. Not one full sentence between them. Dude, that shit was the most awkwardest thing. But yeah, dude. Makhachev I have not seen him with Khabib at all. But he's been training with a bunch of Olympians, and he actually hasn't posted many of them, ironically. Dude, my man plays paddle. This is what he does for fight camps, by the way. That's all he be doing. I'm gonna have to go to our Facebook because, y'all, if you guys are on Facebook, make sure to give the Scrap a follow, please. Oh shit! Sorry, had to celebrate real quick because this was 2.8K followers yesterday, and I was just talking to the people that helped me run the Scrap, and I was like, I want to get it to 3K, so fuck yeah. Yo, Islam Makhachev straight up been training with Olympians. So this is Razambek Jamalov. Probably butchered that. He's a one-time Olympic gold medalist at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Obviously, he's a wrestler. Ian might be screwed, Brady. He might be screwed. He's also, too bad Leon's not in the chat right now, but he's been training with the Taekwondo legend Ulubek Rashitov. Ulubek Rashitov. I'm gonna get that one day. Rashitov is a two-time Olympic gold medalist in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which was held in 2021, and the 2024 Paris Olympics. So he's been training with this guy. Beautiful. He, just given the timelines that Ian was talking about, he was like, oh, he denied me back in May, apparently. And then shit fell through. He was going to fight at the White House. And then they came back and said, oh, it's going to be you. He was training for him. He was training for him this whole time. Look at this. He's even trading with undefeated boxer Bahudir Jalolov. The big Uzbek is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics held in 2021 and the 2024 Paris Olympics. So everyone's always like, oh, Ian got hands. Ian's going to take it on the feet. Look who he's working with, guys. So, yeah, dude, he's been freaking training with Olympians for this whole camp. I wonder if they'll post any more. Let me see. Started business. Okay, so he's doing business now. I did see that apparently Volk wanted him to come over to do cooking with Volk. I was wondering if they maybe had some more footage because he's been training with a shit ton of Olympians for. Oh, here's another one. Would help if I sculpt it, right?
Тренерский состав. Хорош, Слав.
Got Conor McGregor making his return. What was your reaction when that was announced?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Big name for our sports, and but he have tough opponents. Max Holloway against Conor. I think Max can beat him.
Got Conor McGregor.
Многие бойцы ММА.
Можно ли назвать бой с Гэри такой второй частью ирландско-дагестанского противостояния?
Как говорится, с Алиэкспресса, да?
Можно ли назвать
What?
У тебя твой бизнес сейчас.
Yeah. It'd be interesting with him wrist training, bro. Islam's different.
Идет то же делать, то же самое. Хорош.
And I don't know if you guys
Cheer
see
Islam.
this,
Those are the two.
but Conor's last fight for April, he wants Gaethje or Islam if he wins, which is insane to me because I would imagine, just thinking from a Hunter Campbell perspective, they're going to try and get Nate Diaz back for this fight. Any money, because if I'm not mistaken, he was going to come back. And then this offer from MVP came, and it was too good to be true. Not too good to be true. It was more money. So yeah, that shit is interesting. Yo, I don't know if Lames, if you're still here, but I saw this clip today. Apparently he's had enough of this fan calling him out to spar and trash talking him about John Jones.
Nigga, please. Nigga, please.
My debut for bare knuckles coming soon.
You keep fucking with me, you ain't gonna make it to your debut.
No. Don't talk like that. Look, John Jones can finish what I can finish. John Jones was right about you.
Hey, brother.
John Jones was right about you.
Nigga, please.
Bro.
What I do is.
Hey, we have I'll tell you later about something.
I got women in my DMs want me to come out, fly out to them in
LA?
No, it's Canada.
They want you to bring the
Canada. Yo. He's such a trip. He is such a trip. He's mad funny, actually. What else do we got? Yo. We gotta talk about this shit real quick because I went on a rant earlier.
Do you feel like, given the state of,
I went on a rant earlier about Ronda Rousey, and I'm just like, I'm about to go on another one, but I gotta. My good Earl, Dakota Dichiva. Love her, by the way. Great fighter. But, bro, this shit just continues to make rounds in the media. And like I was saying earlier, once you understand how the media works, there's something bigger behind this shit. She
And
clear.
I don't want to like keep bashing her or anything. I said my point and that's that. But it
I don't want to keep bashing her. I've said my point, but I'm gonna continue to bash her.
did disappoint me a little bit. I feel like I hopefully, touch wood, will always be the same person. You know, I don't feel like you have to cross any of those personal lines in order to like get something good out of this sport.
So if you guys missed it, she's upset. She's a huge fan of Ronda Rousey, apparently. Grew up loving her, admired her, so happy she was coming back. Followed her throughout her entire career, right? But it wasn't until Ronda Rousey called Khamzat Chimaev a cleft lip Abraham Lincoln who wrestles that she decided to change her mind on Ronda Rousey.
You know, we're already gifted like so many good opportunities. We don't need to act in this crazy way in order to get more, you know. And I feel like for me, her coming back was like massive, you know. I feel like she has enough accolades to come back and just come back and win your fight without having to talk that way in order to like, I don't know. I just feel like now she's gone out worse than other people made out for me, which is sad. But I mean, she did a great thing with MVP, and I don't want to keep bashing her. But yeah, that comment was not okay for me at all. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have like been coming back to. Oh, you didn't say anything about this person. You didn't say anything about them. And I'm like, I know, but Ronda was somebody that I looked up to.
And you both hit it on the nail, Liv and Brady, right? Of all the things that Ronda Rousey has said throughout her career, mind you, one of those being that the Sandy Hook shootings were a hoax. This is what made you not a fan? Bro, just say you want the fight. I think she saw Ronda's coming back. She's doing promo with MVP MMA, who's backed by Jake Paul. Jake Paul was working for the PFL. I know damn well she saw that and she was like, I want the fight. Like there's no other way. There's just no other reason to continuously be talking about this in the media. This shit happened last month. And I'm not going to put all the blame on her because she was asked the question, right? So I'm not going to put all the blame on her. But this is why I don't interview fighters. Because everybody asks the same shit. It's like nobody has anything original to ask. Nobody actually does research and wants to ask them other questions that aren't around Ronda Rousey, who fought last month. We get it. All right, you don't want to be a fan. Why do people? That's one thing I want to know. Why do people feel the need that to announce when they are unstanning someone or they are unfollowing someone and they're no longer a fan? Like nobody gives a shit. Move on, bro. There's other shit happening in the world. Thanks for your contributions. We don't care. We're still watching. You're still watching too. Like it just irks me, and I felt like I had to say that because MMA media needs to do better. There's just no way they couldn't have asked other things. Why did you unfollow Dalton Rasta? I'm just kidding. That's even worse. But it's true. But it's true. Yeah, dude, she keeps getting asked this
Yeah,
question.
I mean, I'm not bothered about going to the floor. I want like.
Love her, by the way. And while I'm on the topic, because look, May 15th is when she first said this, by the way. And now we're still asking her about this on June 22nd. Come on. Let me
Do you
give
feel
props
like
because Brian Fonseca, of course, he's Puerto Rican, my Puerto Rican brother. These are the types of interviews that I want to see, right? He had a great conversation with her. They talk about whether or not she needs the UFC to reach them. And I feel like that is the $1 million question. I don't think I've heard Dakota talk about that because she could have left to the UFC, but she decided to re-sign with the PFL. So I haven't watched this clip, but I do got to give this guy props because, like, yes, give us new shit. Actually, talk about what's really going on, not about what Ronda said.
do you feel like, given the state of MMA, and obviously people have their ideas about what the UFC is compared to everybody else, but do you feel like you can be the best not fighting in the UFC?
It depends how much you listen to other people's comments, you know, whether you go off what everyone else wants to like hear and what the world thinks is right or what you feel inside. And
Yeah.
for me, like over the years in this sport, I've learned that you cannot please anybody. Like everybody,
Sure.
like if we were just talking about opponents, you know, everybody thought like me being in the PFL, like I was just not fighting anyone good type thing. And then everyone was super excited when I got matched with Santos. And they were like, finally, she's going to get tested. And then
Right.
when I beat Santos, it still wasn't good enough. So it's like, I don't really think after the years of being in the sport, I'm still at a point where I want to please everybody else. So for me, like, as long as I feel like, you know, I'm being challenged and I'm doing what's right for me, then I think that's when talk about retiring. Like I'll retire when I feel like me, I'm satisfied myself, not when everybody else thinks that I've won a UFC belt and now she can do it. Do you know, that type of thing?
That's a great answer. And honestly, the UFC belt isn't the be all say all. I mean, to be honest, the money should be. This is a sport where fighters do not make half as much as other professional athletes and has a very short lifespan, you know, of a career. So I say chase the money. I've always been just being a former fight manager. Like I used to preach that all the time. The UFC shouldn't be your be all say all. It should be about making money and trying to capitalize on the time that you do have in this sport because that shit goes by. Yeah, Ramin. I have a shit ton more on the list. I probably won't get through all of them, but one of the ones that I did want to talk about. And how do you even spell this shit? Because I always spell it wrong.
If you get pitched to do a UFC fight at the Coliseum, what's the percentage that you would say yes?
It's impossible because I was negotiating the deal with Zuckerberg and Musk. That was real. I was literally in my backyard for 2 weeks.
By the way, this came at a time where he said, we don't put on spectacle fights like that. We don't. This was, I think he was coming for Jake Paul or somebody. He was so butthurt saying we don't put on fights like that. And this motherfucker wanted to put on Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk. And you telling me that you don't put on fights like, come on.
Negotiating that fight. And they wanted the Coliseum. The Coliseum wanted something like $150 million to do it there, which that money would go into a fund that restores all the iconic places in Italy. The Coliseum would take Zuckerberg fighting Musk to happen because those two were going to put up the money for the Coliseum.
I mean, if you get Musk to put up the money,
that's what it would take. Isn't that crazy? They would have to main event the card in order for them to do that shit.
For a UFC fight, would you do it? If you get Musk or Zuckerberg to put up the money for a UFC fight in the Coliseum?
Anybody that wants to put up the money for UFC to fight in the Coliseum, I'm in.
Hey, he's in. I only wanted to talk about this because one, crazy freaking fight if that ever happened. Two, we just did the UFC Freedom 250. We've done the Spear. We've seen the Pyramid, the Gaza fight with Rico and Usyk. Like, where else could we be putting on fights for it to be like a spectacle like this? Like, what? I feel like we're running out of options. It's going to be like one in space. next, or I'm trying to think like where else could they go? I think it has to be a stadium. But not even a stadium would probably, I mean, it's a freaking Coliseum. That shit would be crazy. What is also crazy, actually, is that BKFC is doing a stadium show before the UFC. And it's at freaking Fenway, historic as hell. I might have to go because I'm going to be in Boston at that time. But, bro, they are having freaking fights at Fenway. And it surprised me for a couple reasons. Obviously, this is the first, I think, stadium UFC or stadium fights, whatever the hell you want to call them, that we've had. And it's my team, and it's in Boston. You know, Conor McGregor's gonna be there. Boston loves Ireland. I'm pretty sure that's where Conor fought Siver. They love him in Boston. That's where I met Dana too, in Boston. Randomly, he was going into a pizza shop. But this shit is crazy to me. And they got Stewart. I'm assuming Stewart's headlining, hosting our inaugural. And this is their inaugural Massachusetts event, by the way. So imagine having your first Massachusetts card and it's in fucking Fenway. That shit is crazy. Yeah, it's going to be headlined by Kai Stewart, which is crazy to me too, because I feel like Kai Stewart is one of the most underrated fighters on that roster, and he should be marketed as the star, dude. He has beaten so many people. He's on a streak. He's the youngest champion that they've ever had. And he has beef with Sean O'Malley. If we're ever going to do a freaking crossover fight, we actually have a video about their beef on our channel. So you'll have to check that shit out. But yeah, everyone's like, oh, I might have to go to my first BKFC event now. Bandwagons.
We've signed a deal with a big...
Look at that. The scrap popped up. Yeah, dude. Kai Stewart is an absolute beast. So that's going to be very interesting. I'm hoping that they put some Boston people on the card. Rico DeSulio, who was on The Ultimate Fighter and has also fought for BKFCs from that area. He better be on that shit. I don't think they've announced any other fights, though. So, yeah. But you know what, chat? I had a lot more on the docket. We'll save it for the next go-around, I think. We've been streaming for quite a bit. Almost 3 hours. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it. If you guys do like this style, we didn't have a ton of people join the stream today, but if you guys are watching this back and you do like this style, definitely let me know in the comments, because now that I have nothing but time, I do want to do more shows like this where I just shoot the shit for a few hours on live. And then we just talk about, all the big headlines that are happening in MMA or even pro wrestling. I will be back later today for anyone who watches WWE. Yes, we are a channel that does it all because fuck niches. And we will be live every single day this week. But if you guys are like, nah, fuck that, then head over to the Scrap News and check out our articles on the scrap.co. We have news pieces, editorials, listicles, features, opinions, content, video content, predictions, betting guides, all that. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you mofos in a couple hours. Love ya. Bye.